All right, folks. This is a hardcover comic. It's Mike and Matt doing a little live stream action.
Yes,
So
we are here tonight, late at night, ready to bring to you all the excitedness of custom binds.
that's the topic for tonight. Um, yeah, I'm excited to talk about it because I've been into custom binds for a while. I know you're just you're getting fresh into it, but
I'm super fresh into it. I actually just got my first few custom binds through you.
but they're not really your custom binds. There's something special about getting your own done.
Well, that's true. Well, I am getting my own
Great.
done. I just haven't received them yet.
Yeah. But yeah, custom binds they're such a great thing because we've all got, everyone sort of, I guess, over time goes into hardcover collecting. I feel like I don't think anyone actually sticks out with single issues for too long. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm just ignorant of that stuff, but I feel like everyone eventually goes to hardcovers because they're so nice. But yeah, hardcover binding is it's such a good way to sort of get your single issues that are just sitting in a long box or a short box or whatever. You're not really appreciating them, and you can put them on a shelf. If you're not getting a dust jacket, you can dust them off once in a while, even if you're not reading them. But I think it's a good investment just to put, they look great on the shelf.
Yeah, no, I
Makes you
agree.
look smarter.
Yeah, no, hardcovers are always the way to go. Like, for those that have seen the videos, I am sort of new to the hardcover game, if you will. However, once you start and you get that epicness of your first hardcover in your hands, for me, my first one was the Darkness Compendium Volume 2. When you get that first one in your hands and you start flipping through it and just admiring, depending on the book, potentially oversized pages, the oversized art, or just like the epicness of holding something. Like for this, for instance, is this custom bind that I got from you, the Wonder Woman one, and it feels so amazing in your hands. And like with singles, which is what I used to collect, you got to be careful because you're taking them out of the bag. You got to watch the tape. You could easily catch the tape on the. We've all done it. You catch the tape on the damn comic. You try to slowly peel it off, and you end up ripping your damn comic. It happens all the time. And I know some like hardcore collectors out there like, well, I get the self-sealed comic or the self-sealing bags, and that's great, but those are pricey.
Yep.
So I mean, honestly,
bags,
and you can usually find all of the books and that like you collect in your singles in a hardcover format for usually cheaper than what you paid for all your singles. Granted, you got to usually wait a while before you get them. Like, it's not instant gratification like it is every Wednesday at the shop, but it's so much better. It's so worth it.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I know myself personally, the most binding I'm doing now is like trade paperbacks that I'm just sort of taking apart and devouring. But yeah, I had way back when I had a bunch of single issues, and you've got my entire Wonder Woman run like you just showed. Here's another one I've wanted to give you, but I didn't have room in my my travel luggage.
Ooh, more presents. I like presents.
It's that Marvel Events book, which is just like Age of Ultron and Original Sin. But there's something great about like pulling out the single issues, and you didn't get to do this, but I did. And I guess we'll get into more detail when we talk about the process, but there's something great about just taking like an X-Acto knife and just slicing out the ads. It's great, and people will think you're like a murderer. There are hardcore people that will just think you're some kind of animal taking an X-Acto knife to a comic book.
Yeah, no. For me, I've yet to experience it. Now, I am getting a bind done currently, but I didn't even have to cut anything out myself because I paid Mr. Banks at Single Bound Studios, which is one of the top premier him and then Haushin Bindery here in Omaha. Like, luckily, they're semi-local to me, which is super awesome. But a lot of people in the U.S., Haushin is usually the top one that they go to, and they mail in a lot of their stuff. And some people prep them like you do, where they go through with an X-Acto knife. But like I said, luckily for me, Mr. Banks is local, so I just went to his office, took all my books into him. I'm doing the Spectre. For those that are wondering, I am currently getting the Mandrake Ostrander run of the Spectre from the mid 90s done.
I'm very jealous.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic. Some people do it in 3 volumes. I've seen some people do it in 2 due to budgetary restraints and things like that. I went with 2 volumes. But that being said, I went balls out on these 2 volumes. I went with everything. So for instance, well, we'll get back to that in a little bit. But so I actually didn't get the pleasure of taking an X-Acto knife and slicing my books because I took him into David, paid $10, and he prepped all 63, I think it was, issues for me.
Yeah.
He did it all himself. I didn't even have to worry about it. It took him about a week to get it done. And then once he's done with that, he sends it off to the bindery, where it takes, apparently mine's taking a little longer than normal, but 6 to 8 weeks to get them all bound into a hardcover. And then depending on your options, you'll either get the book back after that time, or if you pick all the special extras, it can take a little bit longer. If you want to get fancy, it can take a little bit longer. But I feel like it'll be well worth it in the end, I feel. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So that seems like a very straightforward process. You basically do nothing.
I do. It's correct. I do. Like I said, I basically take it into Single Bound Studios, and he does all the work for me. So yeah, maybe you can dive in a little bit more than as to the X-Acto knife process.
Yeah. So to pay $20 per hardcover book, which is pretty damn cheap. I mean.
And is that 20 Canadian or is that 20 US?
20 Canadian, yeah.
so that's like $10 US.
Something crazy like that. Which is super cheap, and it's like you're getting the bare bones here. But what I basically do, and it's like a seance for me. It's incredible. I just turn on I turn on a sitcom or some nice some good music, and just pull on my X-Acto knife.
Get a glass of wine.
Yeah. Pull on my X-Acto knife, freshly sharpened. And I just get to it. I got a backboard there that I use to make sure I'm not, carving into my desk. And yeah, I'm cutting out ads, ripping out ads like a savage. It's awesome. And then if I'm doing trade paperbacks, I have to, I basically apply a blow dryer on the highest setting.
Oh, so to get the glue.
Yeah, it melts the glue, and then I can peel it off real nice and easy. And then I separate each page individually, which can take a while, especially if you're doing like those Nightfall trades, which are like a thick steak.
Yeah,
a very thick steak. The Invincible Compendiums, which I've got in the bindery right now.
Ooh.
Those were tough to take apart, but that gave me 3 hardcovers there. I'm very excited for those. My God.
So now, for those in Canada that are interested, what's the bindery that you utilize?
Yeah, so it's a Lehman bindery in out of Waterloo, Kitchener, or Kitchener Waterloo. I never remember. I'm so ignorant, and I live like an hour away. But yeah, they're great. You can just mail it in if you want, which is what I did this time. When I was in college, I lived pretty close by to there. I went to Guelph, so it was like 20 minutes away to drive there. So I would just drive there. Why not? Drop it off and pick it up, save the shipping charges. They're really sweet people over there, and they do a good job. Like it seems like the first time I dropped off books there, it seemed like it was no big deal for them. Like they've done this 100 times.
You're probably all nervous,
yeah, I was like shaking. I was like, listen, I want you to do it a specific way. They're like, don't worry, we've done this before.
We
I
know more
learned,
than you, kid.
yeah, I learned about them from this marvelmasterworks.com forum. There was like a specific section for like custom binds. So I learned about them from there, and it was incredible. It's just it went by so smoothly. They have this amazing form where you just sort of draw what you want on the spine. You write it out. You write like, you basically design it right there. It's super simple. It's like bare bones. In case people don't know what I'm talking about, it's just like a regular hardcover. So this is my all new X Factor one. Didn't come out too great, but
Is that gold or silver? It's hard to tell on the camera.
it's gold with a white text on the side. But yeah, like for 20 Canadian dollars, if you do 3 or more books, you get buckram. It's got a ribbon bookmark, tail and headbands. You can choose what color you want for like the head sheet. I don't know what that's called. I'm not an expert at this stuff, but it's like the first page you see. That's sort of not part of the comic, but it's like
Yeah, like the end sheets.
yeah, the end sheets. Yeah, you can choose what color you want, all for $20, which is pretty damn good.
No, that's actually incredible compared to what I'm paying. But
yeah, and they use I usually request, you can choose what kind of binding you want, but I use DFA glued because I'm ripping apart my ads and whatnot. But like, if you look at the binding, they do such an incredible job. But yeah, if you're in Canada, I think that's the place to go. I don't know of any other place that's better than them.
yeah, so if you are in, I mean, I contemplated about sending my books to Canada and paying the extra shipping charge just because it's going to cost me $10 a bind. Like, I was like, that's kind of impressive. I might actually pay the shipping charges as far as that goes. But the nice thing that I'm getting done with the Spectre, so like I said, I sent him in to Singlebound Studios. He did all the prep work and everything for me. He took out all the ads, all the staples, everything. He did all that for me. We took out all the double-sided ads completely because we wanted to shorten it up a bit. We wanted to. Yeah, so I was trying to get into 2 volumes. So we had to shrink it down, and so we did that, and I was able to get it into the 2 volumes, which is super exciting. I'm very stoked about that. Well, supposedly he's able to get into. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know. But so the next,
it's all hearsay. It's fake news.
Yeah, it's fake news. Fake news. Hashtag fake news. So right now, from my understanding, is like he's basically going to end up and just going to be like kind of like a normal cover. Well, I'm working with David, and we're going to do custom design covers with connecting spines. I know it's only 2 volumes. I know it's only 2 volumes. Yeah, don't mind my kid back there. He's being annoying. So anyway, we're doing. I know it's only 2 volumes, but I wanted connecting spines. I figured, I don't know what else I'm going to be doing in the future. I really want to do this. I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. So I'm doing connecting spines. But the covers. So once it's done and they're all bound and whatnot, he is going to reach out to me, and we're going to put them all together, and we're going to design it basically together. I'm going to tell him kind of what I want, and he's going to do it. Now, I have some ideas that I'm doing, but at the same time, he's made a gazillion of these, whereas I've never done it. So I'm like, dude, I'm going to trust your artistic judgment. But there was an issue of the Spectre. Was it issue 18? No.
Don't show off.
I don't remember what issue it is now. I don't. I'm sorry. But anyway, there's an issue where it's a cover of the issue, and half the face is Jim Corrigan, and the other half is the Spectre. And I thought, oh my God, that would be a really cool to make. Well, here, I got 3 in my hand. Let me just grab 2 here. I was like, that would be really cool to make for the spine, would be to do, like, they're going to be thicker than these ones, but it would be to, like, do half in half right here and make the face the connecting spines. I thought, how cool would that be? So that's an idea that I have, but once again, I'm not the creative graphic design artist guy. That's definitely him.
So, what are you getting a table of contents with this?
Yes. No. I'm not doing a table of contents. He asked me if I want. Sorry, I got sidetracked by a live chat comment that we just got.
That's fine. He has some Visa card nonsense.
Yeah, just putting up somebody's Visa card number
That's
on our
fine.
screen. I don't know what the hell
It's
that's
just
about.
making up nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty impressive.
It's great. You gotta love the internet, man.
Yeah, you gotta love it. So anyway, no, he asked me if I wanted to do table of contents. It's gonna cost like an extra $2 or $3. And I said no, I'm gonna pass. I'm not, because for me, I'm like, I don't really care that much about the table of contents. However, I did get headbands and tailbands. I think I got those in green because it's a Spectre,
For
green.
sure. Yeah.
So I went with like they're kind of like green and white. They're not a solid green. I don't know if you guys can see on these. Well, that's not a good example. I don't know if you guys can see on this one. My camera just froze, but it's sort of black and white. You can kind of see that they're Beetlejuicy. So mine is going to be green and white. And, if you know the Spectre, you know that'll work really well. So there's that. So those are going to be the headbands, tailbands. I got green bookmark ribbons. I love the ribbons about hardcovers too. No matter what kind of hardcover it is, I absolutely love.
For sure.
Love the ribbon.
Easy,
the ribbon bookmark.
That's an easy way to hook me in. Like you put a ribbon bookmark and I'm
I'm sold. Oh, what is this book? I will never read it, but it has a ribbon bookmark. I'm sold.
The fact that I don't need a bookmark of my own. Yes.
I love the ribbon bookmark. So I got some green ribbon bookmarks on there. And then as far as the front and back of the covers, we're going to do some really cool. He asked me what I wanted, and I said, really, I only have 2 stipulations. I said, we can kind of go with whatever design you think is going to work, etc. But my only 2 stipulations are, 1, it has to be Mandrake art. Tom Mandrake is one of my all-time favorite artists. We've actually had him on our podcast before, 4 Guys in a Comic, shameless plug. And he was awesome. He was such an incredible guy to talk to. And he's one of my all-time favorite artists. I was like, he did the art in the book. He did the art in the covers of the book. I was like, it has to be Mandrake art for me. And then I said, my only other stipulation is, I was like, a lot of times now people want like the matching logos, like whether it be Marvel, DC, etc. They want uniform logos going across their books. So it's on the shelf. It looks nice and uniform. And I said, I don't want the current DC logo. I said, I want the DC Bullet logo from the 90s. The one that's on these books. I was like, that's what I want. And he agreed to it. He said, yeah, no, I can definitely do the Bullet logo for you, and we can definitely do Mandrake art. And I said, perfect. That's my only stipulations. Other than that, man, have fun with it. We'll come up with something together, and it'll be epic. So all in all, I think the cost for this, because I'm sure people might be wondering. Granted, once again, I'm not paying shipping or anything like that. But all in all, to go all out on the custom cover and everything, I did not do a dust jacket because I did the custom covers. So I didn't see a need for a dust jacket. And I figured if I wanted some kind of protection around it, you can buy those plastic sleeves, basically, that you can wrap around. A lot of people put them over their dust jackets even.
Hardcore, man.
So I figured, and I actually got a couple books like that. I didn't order them like
me too.
They came that way. So I said, oh, this is cool. So yeah, there's those. So I figured worst case scenario, you can always get those. I'm not going to pay an extra. I think it's like $40 for dust jackets, like $25 to design and like $15 to print or something like that. And I said, nah, I'm good. I don't need the dust jackets. So minus dust jackets, I think the cost is about $60 to $65 a volume. Now, that's going balls out on everything. But at the same time, if you think about it, when you go to buy an omnibus or you go to buy an oversized hardcover or whatever, you're oftentimes, you can get deals on in-stock trades or, Facebook groups or, the key G, Ouija, whatever it is that Nova uses or Mike uses there in Canada. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, bro.
You can get, you know, good deals and stuff in there. But oftentimes cover price on up on these books are way more expensive.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is, but I figure for the cost, it's not that bad. And I'm going balls out on this one. Next few binds that I end up doing, I don't know if I'm going to go all out. I might keep them more simple. And then later on down the road, add dust jackets in the future, which is also another option. If you want to only pay $20 for a book, you can easily do that. Have a very simple design done. And then a year down the road, if you want to get more creative with it, just build a freaking dust jacket for it. Yep. You know, there's people out there that are doing dust jackets themselves. I am not Photoshop savvy. I cannot do that. You know, but we know people that can. So if you're one of those people, do your own.
Yeah, for those of you sweating when you hear $60 for a book, this is my Justice League Dark book, which just contains, it's got everything Lemire did in the New 52, and then it goes into the Forever Evil Blight event. So it's pretty big. I think it's like 40 something issues. But I made my own table of contents, which is just like, I went to
cool.
Staples. I went to Staples and just had them print on this like thick cardstock. So this silly purple thing I made myself, which it just lists like the arcs in the book, which didn't take very long, and you know it kind of classes up the book, I guess, a little bit.
So that's super custom. You designed your own.
Yeah, so I think the Wonder Woman I gave you, and I think the Uncanny X-Men both have those as well.
Let's look. I have them right here.
Yeah, and so a few things with this book. With the New 52 and a few of the Rebirth books right now, they use this like thick almost cardstock paper for the covers. I don't know if you remember that, Tap, when like Forever Evil was coming out. They started, I mean, Matt, they started printing covers on this like super thick paper. And the bindery was kind of concerned that it would fall apart, but it never did.
Oh, that's good.
So it can support those pretty well, and like the binding is really good. Like I can look right at the camera. You can probably see my eyeball right now.
Oh yeah.
It kind of comes apart where the ribbon is, but that's not a big deal. You just sort of press it back together.
You know what I just realized flipping through this? Like I said, I've never read the Bendis run on Uncanny X-Men. Because, well, I kind of fell out of the whole X-Men thing. This is the one with Zorn.
Yes.
Oh. Well, normally I would say I'm going to dive into this and read it next, but that would be a bold-faced lie. I am going to read this soon, but you know what, folks? That's enough about customs, okay? Until when I get my customs back, we'll do some more on customs, and hopefully if you guys have, okay, let me preface it with this too. If you guys have any questions for hardcovers or custom binds or how to get into contact with people in Canada or here in the US or whatever the case may be, hit us up. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions that we can answer. We're not professionals by any means. Mike obviously has more experience than I do, but we can get you in touch with people that know what they're doing. You know, just let us know and we'll be more than happy to help. Custom binds are epic, and I'm going to be super stoked when I finally, and hopefully in the next month or so, get mine back, and then we can do another one of these and kind of show off everything. But I owe Mike a lot for all my reading. The majority of my reading that I've been doing lately.
Oh yeah.
So
yes.
You've turned me on to a lot of different books over the last year and a half, and the one that the universe, I should say, that you really hooked me into lately is the Valiant universe. You've been preaching Valiant universe now for as long as I've known you, and I was always kind of like, whatever, I'll get around to it when I get around to it. So my first experience with it was the Humble Bundle. I think I paid like $8 for the Humble Bundle, and I read like a bunch of
volume ones.
yes, and I fell in love with Ninjak. I was absolutely
Yeah.
blown away with Ninjak, and I was like, this is good stuff. So then for our podcast, we made everybody read the first arc of Exo Mana War from the Robert Venditti 2012 reboot. And I got even more hooked on that, especially when I found out Ninjak appears in issue 5. I was like, oh, yes. So it was incredible for me. And you're like, see, I kept telling you guys, just read. So, okay, so then a couple weeks ago, you and me went to Kansas City Planet Comic-Con.
Yes.
And we met some incredible people, creators, writers, just, oh my God, artists. It is absolutely amazing of the people that we met. But one of those people that we met was a gentleman by the name of Andy, who is a sales manager for Valiant Comics. And he
does a hell of a job.
He has an amazing job. I almost want to know how can I get that job?
If anyone approaches that Valiant booth, you're likely walking away with the trade paperback. Like
at least that
dude draws you in so quick, and he's doing it. He loves that universe. Yeah, he loves the universe, loves his job.
Yeah, that he loves Valiant and Ninja Turtles. Those are like the two things that man loves, is Valiant and Ninja Turtles. So we actually talked to him a handful of times over the course of the weekend. We just kept going. We just kept finding ourselves going back to this Valiant booth.
To him and to Matt Kint. We were just sort of bothering those two booths.
Yes, which if you're interested, there's actually a video on our YouTube page of Matt Kint sketching in my Divinity book. I think it was. Yeah. I got a few sketches from him that weekend.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started reading some, and I was like, you know what, I'm kind of hooked. So then when we got back, the last 2 weeks now that I've been home, I have done absolutely nothing but read Valiant. I think I read 5 or 6 DC titles in the last 2 weeks.
God damn.
And that's it. Other than that, I've read nothing but Valiant from here on. And I've traded a bunch of my older stuff away to get the deluxe editions of Valiant. I've gotten really lucky, thanks to some advice from Andy, and finding the out-of-print titles for cover, basically, is what it boils down to, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that it took me this long to actually give in and read this universe. It's incredible.
Dude, I've noticed, and I've sort of accepted it. I don't want to sound arrogant, and it probably does sound arrogant, but the proof is in the pudding for me. There's so many times where I just stumble upon something and I'll tell people to read it and no one gives a shit. That's fine. Don't care about it now, but I don't know. There's just, I always get a feeling, and with Valiant, I knew it right away. Valiant was just, I think it was like, I started reading it, I'm pretty much like 2013 when they restarted, like a year into it. And I just sort of read it, and I'd been reading comics for like a year or two by then. And I just sort of thought, like, I don't feel this way when I read anything from like Marvel or DC. Like, this just feels so, I'm reading Harbinger, and it's like dark and twisted, and it's got drug abuse and heroin addicts, and it's like, what am I, like, what is this? Is this like superhero comics, or is this some kind of weird Vertigo like Hellblazer thing, like where there's like all this crazy stuff happening? And I'm reading Exo Mana War, where it's like Iron Man meets Conan the Barbarian, but so much better. Like, it just, the art is incredible. You're seeing Ninjak, who I knew nothing about, but it's this ninja who's fighting a dude in alien armor and keeping his ground. And just not even knowing who Ninjak is and reading that, my mind was exploding. It was incredible. Then I read Archer and Armstrong, and it's like comedy. It's this great Indiana Jones meets I don't know, Ace Ventura. It's just great. It's so cool. And you're just I was just thinking to myself, like, how is this all happening in the same universe? This just feels so well done. And now down the line, like I think we talked about in our most recent podcast, um, about Ivar showing up in Archer and Armstrong and talking about things that 5 years later are coming into fruition, and you see Archer with faith, and it's like, this is how these people must spend their entire day talking about continuity. um yeah, it's just, goddamn, what a universe. Oh my god.
Yeah, the continuity of Valiant is what really, well, the story and art sucked you in, but the continuity of the universe and stuff is what keeps you there. It is absolutely
Yeah.
incredible. And to watch or to read something, and I'm doing my best to try to read them sort of. I'm reading all the deluxes, so I'm kind of like doing my best to read them in order, so I'm not like skipping anything, and I understand everything. Because I remember like 6 months or so ago, I read Bloodshot Reborn, and while I thought it was good, it didn't really connect with me, and I didn't really
Yeah.
understand it because I didn't read the first, was it 18 issues or whatever of Bloodshot to begin with. So
Oh,
therefore,
like
of
20,
course,
20 something.
oh, is that what it is? So yeah, of
20
course you're
something.
not going to
Yeah.
understand Reborn if you're not reading the other stuff. So I kind of jumped on at an odd point. So now I'm going back, and I gotta say, man, I am loving it. Like I said, I've read nothing but Valiant. It's absolutely incredible. I love every single title. Like you said, Archer and Armstrong is comedy, but it's so good. And I love Archer because he's such a good dude. Like like in the core of his heart, he's such a good dude. And he like doesn't curse or anything. It's great. I absolutely love it. And then you have like Armstrong, who's just straight
Booze
an
and
immortal, who's a debauchery and drinking and women and everything else. It's such an awesome thing.
Yeah.
What did I start reading after that? Oh, Bloodshot. I read all of the. Well, I read the first 9 or 10 issues of Bloodshot right before it goes into Harbinger War because I wanted to save that for when I read. So I hadn't gotten Harbinger yet. So now I'm reading Harbinger, and I've gotten to issue like 12 or 13 on Harbinger. So now I'm to the point where Harbinger Wars is just kicking off, and I have that deluxe.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be reading that deluxe because not only does it have Harbinger Wars, it also has issues of Harbinger from volume 1, I believe, or 2. Yeah, maybe 1. And then the end of what's in Bloodshot volume 1. So I'm going to read that one this week. I'm very excited. And then I've got like Unity that I need to read, which, where does Unity fall into the scheme of things?
So Unity is right. It's probably right near the tail end of Harbinger Wars. It's in the second Exo Man War Deluxe as well.
Okay. So then once I finish off the second Exo Man War Deluxe, then I'll probably jump into the whole Unity thing, because then I'll have Harbinger and that. So I'll be doing that. And then after that, you got Armor Hunters. Which my good friend Mike here helped me out with, and arrived today. Actually, I'm very excited about it. I love that event, man. Now I got Armor Hunters, which is basically all of the deluxe volume 3 of Exo Man War, so you don't even need volume 3. And then the Armor Hunters tie-ins, and then like the mini series, and then all the tie-ins and stuff that come with it. That thing, like you said, it's beastly.
It's it's like a nice steak. It's by far, I mean, Valiant, like their deluxes are pretty thick. They use nice paper and whatnot, but that Armor Hunters is just
it's almost like an omnibus. Like it's good sized.
Yeah, it's great. It's such a good event. And I don't remember what Marvel event was coming out at that time. I think it was Original Sin. And I mean, of course I was comparing the two, and Armor Hunters was just leagues ahead.
Yeah, there's actually somebody in our line chat that said that he didn't get to read all the tie-ins, unfortunately, but he said that he read Armor Hunters, and he was like, I was completely blown away. He goes, I need to go read more Valiant now. And I was like, oh my god, more people are getting hooked. This is great. You know, and I've read all of Ninjak just because he was like my favorite. So I've read like all of Ninjak already. And Rye and 4001 AD I'm waiting on those ones. But what's incredible is last night I started, because I wanted to, while I was waiting for sometimes I read in bed. When I read in bed, I usually read digitally. So
Right.
I didn't want to read something that I had in deluxe form digitally because like, well, I want to read it in deluxe form, nice thick hardcover, right? But I still wanted to read, so I was like, what do I not have, and what doesn't really have an event type thing that it's kind of a standalone? So I was like, oh, I know, I'm gonna read Ivar the Time Walker. So I started reading Ivar last night, and freaking,
it's so
they're
good.
doing like the portal jumps.
Yep.
You know, they're jumping through all the different portals to travel through time, and you see fucking Rye on a rooftop battling some dude who I'm assuming I'll probably figure out later when I read Rye. But you have like they just, it's like the Easter eggs, like all the stuff that they're just dropping in there. It's freaking incredible.
Dude, Ivar is a must read. Whenever you get to that point in the continuity, I don't know how if you're gonna buy the deluxe, you have to.
Oh yeah, no, I am.
It's so good. It's incredible.
Yeah. And then I got Death Defying Dr. Mirage, which I've been told is kind of a standalone. Shadow Man, which should be here within the week. That one I've been told is standalone-ish. Quantum and Woody, I have. I need to read Quantum and Woody. I'm excited for that one.
Dude, Quantum and Woody's great. I sent you a few like screenshots from the Delinquents like a week ago. They got to do a second Quantum and Woody hardcover. I don't know what's taking.
Yeah, have you seen okay, so I gotta ask, since you have the majority of the deluxes, what is the Quantum and Woody Q2? It looked like it was a thinner deluxe edition.
Yeah. Right, so I have that one, and that's Christopher Priest, and
so it's from the 90s.
No, it's new. It's new, but it's continuing from the 90s continuity, from what I understand. It's Christopher Priest and someone bright, I forget his last name, I apologize, who is the artist. They both returned to do another 4 issues or something. So I have that deluxe as well. It's a pretty good read.
But it's only like 4 issues or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't tie into the current continuity.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just.
And then I keep seeing this Faith, the Hollywood and Vine deluxe.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty small. But it looks fairly small as well. So I'm like, I don't think there's any other Faith deluxes out there. I think the only Faith deluxe is the Hollywood and Vine. So yeah, I guess I don't realize how many issues of Faith are out there, but I would think they're going to be coming out with like a normal sized deluxe Faith, but not this year.
Yeah, the Hollywood and Vine one collects it's got the first 4 issues of the limited series, and then Harbinger Faith #0.
So it's like 5 issues.
But like the ongoing book is on volume 3 right now of trade paperback, so I assume we'll see another one sometime in the future.
Well, I hope they just put out like an actual deluxe edition and not these like I mean, I know that's a deluxe, but I mean like the full size deluxe.
Yeah, it's like it's a pretty thin book.
Yeah,
compared to the other trades, but it is oversized. It's a pretty solid story. It's got it's got the Vine in there.
See, now since I've been reading Harbinger, which is where Faith makes her appearance in the newer universe. Yeah. Oh, dude, I finally got to Torque last night because you're like, have you met Torque yet? And I'm like, Torque? I don't think I know Torque. And it's like, you'll know when you see him. Yeah, no, you're right. Like, yeah, you know Torque. I like how he calls it, instead of Valhalla, it's Torquehalla.
Torquehalla, yeah. Did you read that arc yet? Where they're in Torquehalla for like 6 issues or something? It's great.
I'm not quite that far now. I'm just now starting to hit the Harbinger War.
It's after Harbinger War, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not quite there yet. But no, it's great. And like you said, like it has something for everybody. Valiant is such an amazing, not only does everything so tight knit, but like you said, there's darker titles like Shadow Man, really even sort of Death Defying Dr. Mirage is a little bit darker. Harbinger, it deals with darker themes. And then you have the lighthearted stuff like Quantum and Woody and Archer and Armstrong and Ivar seems to kind of be sort of a more
Yeah.
lighthearted, fun book.
You know what? Sorry to interrupt your thing, but what surprises me, maybe you've done some research too, but like Eternal Warrior has had, I think, 5 issues at this point with no deluxes. I'm so confused. Like Greg
Yeah,
Pak did 8 issues and Robert Vendidi's done like 14 now or something, and there's still no deluxe in sight.
and there's there's nothing for this year because I think the only 3 for this year were 4001 AD, Shadow Man
Exo
Volume.
4 came out.
Yeah, Exo 4 came out. Exo 5 is coming, and
Yep.
then Shadow Man Volume 2.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's all that was being released so far this year.
So far, yeah. And 4001 AD, did you say that already?
Yeah, 4001 AD. Yep. So it's and 4001 AD I think drops at the end of this month actually.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
So there's that, but yeah, I don't understand. Maybe hopefully we can either get Andy on the podcast, or maybe we can even get Dinesh on the podcast.
Yeah.
That should be even, that'd be dope too. And we can get some answers to some of these questions about the hardcovers. But
because I mean, the Eternal Warrior shows up in like 4 books, like 4 series. I'm just surprised he's not getting the deluxe treatment.
Well, now speaking of Eternal Warrior, so real quick, some Valiant news here for those that maybe you guys have already seen this, but Valiant this summer is going to be dropping. So everybody knows there's Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe, the web series that's going to be dropping in late 2017. Well, what they're doing is they're actually creating variant covers for their books this summer, and the variant covers are all going to be the characters from the show. So for instance, Ninjak is Michael Rowe. Like, it's a picture of Michael Rowe as Ninjak on the cover.
Looks great.
And then there you have John Morrison from WWE fame as the Eternal Warrior. And that one looked pretty awesome too. So there's a couple out there right now, like sneak previews, I guess you could say, where you can see these books, and they look incredible, like really well done covers. So yeah, I'm interested to kind of see what the rest of them are going to look like, and I cannot wait. Like, now more than ever, I really want to see Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe. Before I was like, hey, that just looks cool, but I know nothing about this world. Now that I'm balls deep in this world, I'm like, I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
For those of you watching this at some point in your life, and you're just sort of there, because there are a lot of people, and I've gone through this for a while, and it kind of sucks. You just sort of put that idea out there, read Valiant Universe, and they'll say, you know what? And I'm sure you'll agree, Todd. They'll be like, yeah, I'll give it a shot at some point. Exo Manowar just looks like Iron Man. Bloodshot just looks like Punisher. Harbinger just looks like X-Men, and this and that, this and that. But when you put it all together, when you put all the pieces on the chessboard, oh my god, there's nothing else like it. Marvel and DC in terms of continuity and in terms of world building have nothing compared to Valiant. I mean,
that's true.
The great thing is, and you've noticed this too, is they put out like 4 books a month, maybe like 1 a week, and you can keep up with the entire universe. It's a smart move versus like 100 coming out from DC and Marvel to keep up with the entire universe. It's a big difference.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And like they were telling us too, they've never been late on a title, unlike everybody else. Every other publisher out there has been late at some point or another. They've never been late on a title. They are still creating new characters. There's freaking Savage, written by B. Claymore, that's just absolutely blowing up right now. He's a brand new character in the world of Valiant, and apparently, from what they were saying at the Valiant panel, is probably going to start in the future at some point. Hopefully, if it picks up and takes off, is going to start interacting with more of the Valiant characters and show that he actually is in this Valiant world. Whereas right now, he's sort of just doing his own thing. Same thing with Britannia. I just read Britannia this week. Well, the first trade. I haven't read it all, but I read the first trade of Britannia, and oh my God, Britannia is so good. If you like gore, oh man. Oh
yeah, same thing with I mean, Divinity was a new character as well. It took off like no tomorrow. You had a sequel. You have Divinity 3, which was a whole Stalinverse thing. Yeah, they're good at launching new characters too. I mean, their new characters take off like no tomorrow. Faith has blown up like insanely. Faith is like one of the biggest female characters right now.
Yeah, I gotta say, I didn't know how I was gonna feel about Faith as a character because I didn't really know much about her. I just knew like, oh, this new like female character, and I just thought it was sort of like one of those like social justice warrior things where they're creating well, I know she was already created, but they're just bringing in like this new female character, and I can honestly tell you, I was so wrong. It's awesome. It is so good. Like. All she wants to do is fly. Just fly and write in her blog. She just wants to be a freaking superhero. That's all she wants.
Yeah. And read some comic books.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's so well written. And she goes by Zephyr for a while, which is funny. And I don't know. You got to read Harbinger to really understand Faith. And it's so good. But anyway, so enough about Valiant. We're actually getting a couple questions right now on the live chat. So first of all, I'm going to acknowledge here, Nick P is asking, have we done videos for our collections? I have. Mike still has not. And I don't know why, because this man's collection will blow mine out of the water, okay? Granted, he's been collecting a couple years longer, but still, his collection is absolutely fantastic. I don't know why he won't show you guys. Why won't you show us?
I'm just lazy. I really should do it. Maybe this weekend I will, since people are asking for it. Yeah, I just keep getting new books, and I think I've always got my shelf arranged, and then I run out of room. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah,
I'm running out of room on my bookshelf. That's what I'm complaining about.
People are asking to see it, man. Yours is gonna blow. I'm gonna feel like a little turd next to yours. All right, you need to show off your collection. Show that massive thing.
I got a new phone.
Yeah,
and so
you had a new phone for a few weeks now.
Yeah, I just been enjoying the new phone.
We'll use that camera. Enjoy it with the camera.
I will this weekend. I'm motivated.
All right, this weekend. You guys heard it here first. This weekend, he's doing it.
Yes. And Nick P also has any Boom and IDW series you guys like. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comes to mind.
Yes, hands down, Ninja Turtles. Yep.
You really like the Transformers stuff.
For me, I'm a big Transformers fan as well. And the Ghostbusters, even the Ghostbusters stuff too, with Eric Burnham, Dan Schoening is absolutely incredible. I absolutely love IDW has so many amazing licenses that they can do. It's absolutely incredible. IDW, Lock and Key, hands down, one of the all-time,
oh my god,
one of my all-time favorite books ever. Including Valiant. Sorry guys, but Lock and Key is hands down absolutely incredible. So yeah, IDW is honestly, if I could pick a couple publishers, I wouldn't even pick the big two. I'd probably pick IDW. Now Valiant.
And Image.
Image has got some really strong stuff.
Always got to put Image there.
Boom. I know there's stuff from Boom that I read, and I cannot think of for the life of me what it is.
Klaus was from Boom.
Yes, Klaus was really good. Grant Morrison. I want to say
there's a bunch of stuff that
is Power Rangers through Boom right now. I'm pretty sure Power Rangers is Boom. Are you sure?
Is it? Maybe.
I think it's Boom.
Jesus, I'm so uninformed.
You know what the problem is? We have a podcast and we get like review books and things, and I can read Boom, and yeah, that's what I thought. So Mighty Morphin, I'm reading Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Incredible book. I'm almost 35. I grew up watching the Power Rangers. That was my thing, like the original, not like this Jungle Fury and Samurai Turbo crap. Okay, no.
Yeah.
The original Ninja Turtles, or not Ninja Turtles, them too, but Power Rangers. I grew up watching the Power Rangers. So the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers right now that's being done through Boom is incredible. It's just like watching the TV show. I think it's Kyle Higgins that's doing it, and it's just freaking it's incredible.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, Irredeemable is another series. I know they have hardcovers for
yes, I've seen a lot of hardcovers lately. I haven't read Irredeemable yet, actually, though. To be honest, I have not read it yet.
God damn, they're expensive. Hopefully I can get those. But yeah, Klaus, I had from IDW, I got the Rocketeer Deluxe Edition for like $30. It was like 70% off on Amazon. Really cool book. I'm really liking Dynamite's James Bond as well.
Really?
The hardcovers are kind of pricey, but it's really good. They've had like Warren Ellis, he wrote 2 arcs. Andy Diggle wrote a few. James Robinson, they've got amazing writers on it. Benjamin Percy, who's doing Green Arrow right now, is writing an arc. They're really putting a lot of content for James Bond. Is really cool. Another small, I guess. I mean, IDW series. What else? What else has IDW done?
You know what a really underrated publisher is? Oni Press. Oni Press is an underrated publisher. They put out some of my favorite titles, such as The Sixth Gun. Okay, I am a huge Colin Bunn and Brian Hurt Sixth Gun fan. I have the 3 deluxe editions, and I actually got to meet those gentlemen a couple weeks ago and had them sign them. And Brian Hurt actually asked me if he could sketch in one of my deluxes, and I said, yeah. And so he did. He drew Bill in one of my books, and it's honestly, I feel like I should have paid the man. It was so good.
It was really good.
I honestly feel like I probably should have paid him for it, but it was just incredible. I think I just caught him at the right time. It's like the first day of the con. The Damned is through Oni Press as well. Once again, Brian Hurt and Colin Bunn, incredible team. The Damned original series was phenomenal. The one that's like 10 or 12 years old now, absolutely phenomenal. And just what a week or 2 ago, they relaunched The Damned, and issue $1 is now out. And issue 1 is now out. And if you haven't read The Damned and you're like a fan of Colin Bunn and his horror stuff, go read The Damned. It's so good.
I saw the 2nd issue on Comixology for $1 as well. I don't know if that's a pre-order thing, but
I'll buy that for $1. Name that movie. You don't know it, do you, young buck?
No, I don't. This is about comic books, man. It's about comic books.
RoboCop, fool.
All right, well, I'm too young for that shit, man.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Speaking of Oni Press, so I was telling you about these Wasteland hardcovers. So this is what it looks like. This is from Oni Press.
Oh, that is beautiful.
And they're the regular size of a deluxe, but they're like that velvet. It looks like the Hellboy library editions, and it feels like it too. It's got that like a velvety sort of texture to it.
So you get half a chub when you're rubbing the book.
Oh yeah. most of the book is in black and white, though. I haven't actually read it. I read the first volume, which was like the first 6 issues. I'm pretty excited for them. They're like $35 US, so they're ridiculously expensive ridiculously cheap. Jesus, on in-stock trades. Yeah, they're like.
What do you know about in-stock? You don't get to enjoy the pleasures of in-stock.
No, I don't. But I also, See,
hopefully they start international shipping. That would be nice.
It's funny we were talking about Valiant because you'd always ask me, "Is this book out of print? Is this book out of print?" And I'd just be saying, "I don't know. I don't know. I've got them all on my shelf already. I don't care." So that was funny.
Yeah, that was good. So is that whole series in black and white, that Wasteland?
I don't know. There's some short stories in full color that I saw in that volume especially. I don't know. I'll find out. Either way, I'm kind of excited.
Oh yeah, dude. For anybody interested that's here in the States, he was saying in stock trades, $25, or I'm sorry, $24.50 for volume 2, 28 for volume 3, 28 for volume 4, 28 for volume 5.
Yeah,
Where's volume 1? I don't think they have volume. Oh, volume 1, 24.50 for volume 1.
yeah, they're like 350 pages. They're on black and white, but I mean, it looks like a fun book. The first volume was a lot of fun. It's kind of this cool like Western sci-fi Western book. It's kind of exciting.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
I'm really big into. For some reason, I'm not feeling the big two right now. I mean, I love DC. Everything DC's doing right now is great. I'm just sort of it's on the back burner, I guess. I'm really into reading non-superhero stuff right now for some reason.
Yes, and here's one actually that Nick P just mentioned. All right, he said Meteor Men, which that one I'm not familiar with, but Kaiju Max. That's a book that has been on my want to read list for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't read it honestly, but it has been on my list. I'm like, God, I really want to look at that. And it looks so incredibly awesome. So I'm glad to hear that it is a great book because it is something I've been wanting to read. Meteor Men, though, I'm not familiar with that one. Are you familiar with that one?
No, no.
Yeah, I'm not
Speaking
familiar
of
with Meteor Men.
if you haven't read, Simon Spurrier has done a lot of books for Boom, and he's awesome. He did like Six Gun Gorilla,
Six
which is
Gun
tremendous. I love
Gorilla.
that book. Yeah,
All right.
so it's a gorilla with the 6-shooter. It's a gorilla with the 6-shooter. He's got a poncho on. He's got a sombrero on. It's tremendous. It's a great book.
Looks like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh my god, it's such a great read.
Did you just pause and think who Clint Eastwood is, didn't you?
No, I know who Clint Eastwood is.
Okay.
No, 100%. No, don't worry. Unbreakable Man. No, I know who Clint Eastwood is. He also did Weavers, which was just
yes, Weavers.
incredible.
That Racer in our chats. Racer's a huge fan of Weavers. I think he says probably one of his favorite books. Which one?
Spire by him. I think it's by Simon Spurrier.
Oh, Spire. Yeah,
it's also a tremendous book. Yeah, he's a great writer. He did the Legion book, I believe, for Marvel X-Men Legion. Yeah, that's it. There's a new omnibus for that one.
There is.
Yeah,
it's more of an oversized hardcover size. It's not. I wouldn't call it an omnibus. They're calling it an omnibus, but I don't think it's omnibus size.
They're allowed to. They're allowed to as long as
well, look at Superior or not Superior Spider-Man. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. That book is like I have oversized hardcovers that are thicker than that thing, and they're calling it a freaking omnibus.
Yeah, Marvel does that. They'll take 12 issues and call it an omnibus.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I mean, there's Boom's got a lot of good stuff. They got good stuff going for them.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Great picks and questions and everything too, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully we can do this on a
more regular basis. Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
I know, man, with work and life, and I have kids, and yeah.
On nights like tonight, I guess we should have put out like a little warning video sometime midday, but we were sort of on the fence about this one. Next time we can be more sure.
Yeah. This one we were hoping to do something tonight, but we weren't sure if it was going to happen. Yeah. But no, this is awesome, man. Thank you once again, everyone that's tuning in. Absolutely incredible. We appreciate all the love. Be sure you guys are paying attention this weekend because Mike promised you guys he's going to be doing a collection video. So stay tuned for that one. Like I said, it's going to make mine look like a piece of shit. I can't even hold a candle next to his.
Well, yours is completely different now. You may as well do another one now.
Yeah, well, yeah, mine's changed a lot.
One last question. Humanoids books. Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. Anything by Hodorowski's great. The Ankle, Meta Barons, Techno Priests. I recently got. I probably won't be able to reach it. No, I won't be able to reach it. Screw it.
Look at my nice cabinets while I turn around and point like Vanna White.
It's this huge book. It's like this big.
Jesus.
Called Magical Twins, and it's like 60 pages or something. But it's massive. It's bigger than an absolute edition. It's got a ribbon bookmark too, and it's like 60 pages. It's got a ribbon bookmark.
That's why you bought it.
Playing on my heartstrings. Yeah,
That's why you bought
big,
it
massive pages.
as the ribbon.
Oh god, but yeah, anything by Hodorowski is worth checking out. That dude's amazing. Um, Aside from that, I haven't really bought much. I brought like there's a title called Bramble, which is about like it's sort of talking about nature versus technology and how like technology sort of pollution and all that, um, and eco-terrorism stuff like that. And Izuna, which was about these like Japanese werewolves who fight these shadow demons. It was amazing. It's got incredible artwork, also like this big, like just like a absurdly large book.
And it's
Um,
62 pages.
well, that was like 100 with a ribbon bookmark. Um, but yeah, I like humanoids. I like European comics. They're really interesting just because they're so focused on different topics and they interpret things differently than Americans do. The same thing with manga. Like you see different interpretations of the same events by people halfway across the globe, which is fascinating. Yeah, 2000 AD books. I don't know much aside from Judge Dredd. That's really the only 2000 AD thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
Judge Dredd is awesome. Any Judge Dredd you can get is fantastic. Like I haven't read any bad Judge Dredd at all. Yeah, that's it. I don't know much else about 2000 AD.
Yeah, I'm no help in that aspect, unfortunately.
This is the kind of stuff Matt will get into it later. This is uh, I don't want to sound arrogant again. I just feel like I'm like 10 steps ahead of so many people, and I'll just say something like read Meta Barons, and then one person will read it and say, "Oh my god, it was amazing. Yeah, thank you for recommending it." And eventually 10 people read it, sort of like Valiant.
Yeah, well, you also don't have children and things like that. Like you have a ton of free time, all right? I, on the other hand, do not. So,
That's
yeah,
true. That's true
I
too. Very
read
true. Very
when
good point.
what I can. But no, so yeah, stay tuned for this weekend because Mike's gonna show off his massive collection. He's gonna flaunt it, and hopefully, like we said, we can do this more and so in the future. Your guys' participation, the few guys in here, has been absolutely incredible too. So thank you guys for listening to us ramble for the last hour or so. That's super cool of you guys. And yeah, stay tuned, man. We greatly appreciate this. This is just something we
Sure.
wanted to do as a hobby and kind of a spin-off of the podcast that we do. And four guys in a comic, shameless plug, every Saturday. And great interviews, actually, some really awesome interviews. This Saturday is
Yeah,
Howard
seriously.
Chaykin.
Maniac.
So okay, me and Mike weren't at the Howard Chaykin interview because of the time of day that it was happening. We were at work and we weren't able to participate. However,
Yep.
Mike and I met Howard Chaykin at Kansas City Planet Comic Con, which is how we got his contact information. And wow. Wow. I can't wait to hear the interview if it's anything like what our conversation that lasted a whole 5 minutes with him consisted of. I can't wait to hear this interview.
It's 100% explicit.
Yeah, very explicit, not safe for work.
You're either within a sentence you're hearing the F-bomb drop or something sexual. So
yeah, something about orgies in Mississauga.
Every sentence. Yeah, dude. Apparently there are orgies going on in my neighborhoods I don't even know about. Which is crazy. And I live in a city that is Chicago with no soul, which is great.
No, he didn't say soul. He said charm. No charm.
Charm. That's right. Charm. Yeah. It's got a little bit of soul, but no charm.
Yeah.
Which is
and
fine.
then a butterfly landed on his prints out of nowhere, and he just screamed, "What the fuck!" This butterfly just got up and flew away.
He's crazy.
It was incredible.
Very excited for that. I think the week before that was someone I think I missed out on as well. But we've talked to dudes like Steve Orlando,
Colin Bunn,
God,
Mike Allred,
Colin Bunn,
Tom
yeah.
Mandrake, Jim
Chip
Starlin,
Zdarsky.
Chris Claremont, Chip Zdarsky, everybody from straight indie and people you have never heard of, all the way up to the greats like Jim Starlin and Chris Claremont. And
Yeah.
you know, we've had everybody on the show, and it's absolutely
Yeah.
remarkable. And one book before we go,
It's been
real
a great
quick
time.
here. Before we go, you keep talking about how you keep pitching all these books to people, and people
Mhm.
need to bow down to the all great
Mhm.
Mike for all these
Yes.
books. There's a book
Go
right here
on.
that I want to throw out real quick, and trust me, people, you're gonna want to read this book. I can promise you've probably never even heard of it. But none other than Superhuman Resources. All right. There's 2 of these trade paperbacks out. There's like 5 issues in each trade. And there's 2 of them. There's this one, and this one, the art is done by an artist named Justin Bleep. And then in the second volume, the art is done by a gentleman named Armando Zanker. And honestly, personally, I like the art in volume 2 better because it's a little more cartoony. And I felt it worked better with the book. But both volumes, all 10 issues that are out, are written by a really awesome guy by the name of Ken Marcus. And he's been on our podcast as well. And I fucking love Ken Marcus. He is such a cool guy. And he wrote some of the most funniest comic. Like, this comic is absolutely hilarious. Okay, it's like The Office meets the Avengers, and you put them in a blender and hilarity ensues. It's super funny. Everybody that's ever read this after me recommending it has said, you're right, that book is great. But kind of going back to full circle to the beginning of the night, I have a couple of these trades because he sent me some stuff in the mail, but I am going to actually take the 2 trades. I mean, it's only 10 issues or so, but I'm going to take the trades and I'm actually going to bind these into a hardcover. And I'm pretty excited about that. Like I said, this gonna be a really thin hardcover, but I'm going to do it. It's gonna be awesome. And then also, speaking of binds, Ryan Brown's God Hates Astronauts. I now have all 3 trade paperbacks, and just like I told him at the con, I'm going to bind them into a hardcover. So I'm gonna get all 3 of those bound too. So if you're in the mood for comedy or just really like off the wall, hilarious, fucked up stuff, Ryan Brown's God Hates Astronauts. Oh man, is it good? So incredibly.
Yeah, the 2
funny.
small. Speaking of small binds, real quick before we finish this thing off, I had recently I sent in Umbrella Academy, which is 12 issues, and Alan Moore's Top 10. So I'm very excited to get those 2 back. They're going to be super small, but I think even the fact that they're small is going to look cool on the shelf.
Yeah.
But yeah, very excited for those.
Maybe they'll actually fit on your shelf.
Mm-hmm.
All your books.
I got to get a new one.
Yeah, must be rough.
God damn. Got omnibuses just sitting around here because there's no room for them.
Yeah, people, he's not even properly taking care of his books because he has so many, he doesn't have room for them. It's ridiculous.
It's just sitting there. I have nothing to do with it. I can't put it anywhere.
How many of the books do you think you've read? How much? Like, if you had to give like a
90%.
90%?
90%.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I'm pretty good with that now. I was pretty behind before, but actually it's probably over 90%. There's stuff like Absolute Transmetropolitan where I haven't read it because I'm waiting for volume 3, which may or may not happen.
Yeah, so I don't foresee that one happening.
Kind of sucks because I'm waiting. I've been waiting to binge read it, and I can't.
Well, you could always go digital.
No.
You know what they say? Once you go digital, you don't go hardcover. No, they don't say that.
Go absolute.
Nobody's ever fucking said that.
You can't go absolute for the first 40 issues and then finish the last 20 off on digital. You can't. It's just not.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that. That's how I felt about Preacher.
My brain. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Oh, that shipped for me today. Anyway, nice. We can keep rambling on and on.
Yeah, we can, but we're not going to. We don't want to bore you guys. So
my throat's feeling raw.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully be doing this again at least a couple times a month, hopefully, and then we'll be continue to do the reviews and the things like that. I know Mike will probably be doing a lot more reviews than I am, due to the fact that, well, he has expendable
No responsibility.
Yeah, he has expendable income. So anyways, but yeah, so stay tuned. And once again, we appreciate everything you guys do for us and watch and share and everything else. You guys are absolutely incredible. So until next time when we see you, the power is yours.
You stay classy, internet, and stay single.